theme from a summer place. From a summer place. The theme from a summer place. Ha ha! Hello. Hi. What do we do? We're painting a painting. All I'm going to do now on podcast episodes is paint in black spaces on paintings that have black spaces on. And that's the end of that. Cha-cha. Don't know where that came from or where that was going. What a brilliant start to the... I once met a woman named Enus, whose name sounds like penis. I didn't mean it for it to. I'm talking about it for a reason, not a good reason, but for a reason. But it just so happens that it sounds like one of those, like a limerick. There was an old man from... An old man? Was it an old man? Or was it just a man? There was an old man from Cosham. And then I think the American version is the man from Nantucket, whose dick was so long. But then there's the man from Cosham. He took out his bollocks to wash them. His wife said, "Jack, if you don't put them back, I'll stand on them both and squash them." Do you remember that? Do you remember from back in the day? From being in school? Was it an old man from Cosham, or was it just a... Was it there was an old man from Cosham, or was it there once was a man from Cosham? Shall I Google it? Will that be Googleable? Will the man from Cosham be Googleable? I'm sure there's a database online of like schoolhouse limericks. Possibly, and or probably, or maybe there isn't. I don't fucking know. And then the man from Nantucket has a big penis. I think it's funny that like British humour is, what if I took out my balls and my bitch wife stood on them and squashed my balls, my bollocks. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? And then American humour is, oh, imagine if I had a big dick. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? In my dreams, eh? Maybe one day. See, because all Americans have tiny, tiny penises. Especially the... I was going to say just the white supremacists. They're all mad because they... It's because big dick energy is a thing. If you got big dick energy, you don't walk around going, white people are oppressed more than any other race of people ever. So if you've got big dick energy, you don't give a shit. You just shut up. It don't matter. Who gives a shit? I got this big fucking anaconda between my legs. I ain't got time to worry about fucking whites. So Americans just wish they had big penises. That's where I was going with that. That's again totally off topic. So I met a woman named Enus, whose name sounds like penis. I laughed in her face. She sat there in place. She punched me right in my penis. Oh, excuse me. That's a bad one because you're not supposed to use the same word. You can't rhyme penis with penis. I mean, you can. You literally can. Penis does rhyme with penis. But it's bad writing, isn't it? If You can't write a limerick with the same word as the thing and the thing. Even if it is about a woman with an absurd name. How do you go through life with the name Enus and not burst out laughing anytime somebody says, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" and you say, "It's Enus." Like penis, but without the purr. It's just the Enus. It just sounds like penis. That's like if I was a bear. Which, I mean, I say if I was, I am. I'm a bear in the gay community. I'm a bear. Fuck you, I'm a bear. Give a shit. But if I was a bear and my name was Pooh, anytime someone said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't catch your name," I'd say, "Oh, it's Pooh." My name's Pooh. And then the person would say, "Ha, yeah, okay, but seriously, what's your name? I need to write it on this official documentation." And I'd say, "Oh no, it's Pooh. My name is Pooh, but it is Pooh. Whoever named me put an H on it." They said, "Oh, let's make it like it's not the word poo. Let's make it like a whole separate word, whole new word, a new fantastic type of poo." But this one's got an H at the end, so now it's not quite the same as the normal word poo. That's from Aladdin. That's an outtake from Aladdin. Fuck am I? It's the heat. We'll blame the heat. It's warm today. I got my fan blowing. I don't know if that affects the microphone. I shouldn't think it does. I don't think any time I've ever said, "Oh, sorry if you can hear my fan or heater or whatever in the background." I don't think it's ever actually been an issue. But the fan is on because it's fucking warm. I say that, it's like 23 degrees, 22 degrees Celsius. You know, the smart way of measuring temperature. But for us England-ish people, that's warm. Especially for me, I'm not used to it. I don't like it. And I think it's making my brain stupid. Not that my brain's not normally stupid, but a whole new word, a whole new way of writing poo. But this one's got an H there at the end, so now it is a whole new type of poo. New fantastic point of poo. No one to poop us, no. Up your nose with a big fat stinking log of poo. So I met this multiple women called Enus, and I laughed in her face. I said, "Ha ha ha ha! Your name sounds like penis, you stupid cunt." Fuck you. Your parents were pieces of shit. What were your parents' names? Were your parents' names Ickhead and Untface? Get it? Because then it's like... It's not funny. Why are you laughing at me? It's not funny. I really did meet a woman called Enus, though. There wasn't really a point to me telling this story other than it came to mind and I thought it was funny because it sounded like penis. But then the main thing was the spelling of her name is I-N-E. It's not the right letters, but they're in the wrong places. I-N-E-S. And I'd seen that name before. I'd seen it written down. I'd never heard it said. I think the main place I saw it written down was as the name of a big booby model on the internet years and years ago. She had big boobs and her name was Enus. But at the time, because I hadn't heard it said, I thought her name was like Ints or Inez or Ines or something. Ines. 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 I knew she was like European or Polish or something, so I figured, oh, it's just a weird foreign name. I don't bloody know. Give a shit. Turns out it's Enus. You pronounce that Enus, just like penis, without the P. Which is useless. What good is a penis without the P? The P's the best part of the penis. Or so they'd have you believe. I don't know what that means. And that was ultimately... I did have to, like, when she told me her name, because it was at the shoe store and she was a customer, and then I said, oh, you know, take your details, and if you want an email thing, because she was ordering some shit, so I had to take her details to the thing. And she said, oh, my name's Enus, Ines, and I was like, that sounds like penis. I did have to, like, physically restrain myself from laughing, just a little bit. No, I wasn't going to fucking burst out laughing. And I wasn't going to fucking actually go, your name sounds like penis. But if I did let the laugh out, it would have been something along the lines of, it sounds like penis. But, you know, I kept my composure. I didn't want to lose my job for laughing at a customer's name. That sounds like penis. How could you not laugh at a name that sounds like penis? Come on, man. Come on. Said the penis without the P part of the penis. They've said penis. I think that's about all I've got in terms of... That's all I've got in terms of anything to talk about for this whole episode. That was my whole thing. I met a woman called Enus. Her name rhymes with penis. She said, how dare you? I said, I'll share you with everyone in my genus. Ah, fucking hell. This is, I was going to call him Nuke Rooster. That's not Nuke Rooster. It's Jevin Loop's character. This is motherfucker Falcon fucker. Murder Falcon by Daniel Warren Joranson. Daniel Warren Joranson. Daniel Johnson Warren Soren. Daniel Warren Johnson. He's very, very good artist, and he draws a bunch of comics. They're really good. He's doing a run on Transformers at the moment, and it looks good. I don't care. I was going to say I hate Transformers. I don't hate them. I just don't care about them. I never really have. The toys are cool just for what they are. It's a toy that turns into a different thing. That's neat. And the physical makeup of those toys, like logistically building those toys in the first place to make them be able to turn into nothing. It's a feat of engineering. But on the whole, I don't really care about fucking anything or whatever. So I didn't care about Transformers, but the comic looks really good because the drawings are really good. Because his artwork's really good. It's one of those ones that's like he's you know, James Howard level. Sorry, I haven't slept, so I'm yawning a lot. I'm also down in Monster Energy Drink. Give me a second. It's very good. And someone commissioned me to do a big painting of Murder Falcon, and I hadn't really. I was aware of Murder Falcon, but did I share the sketch? I might have done the sketch in my sketchbook on a podcast episode. I don't recall. But now I'm painting this, and I'm really happy with it so far. I spent a couple of days coming up with fucking poses, just drawing little thumbnail sketches of poses and shit, because I didn't know how to do it. Like that Gun Viking Death Fist one, the double painting, I even said that came up like straight away. One sketch for Gun Viking, perfect. One sketch for Death Fist, perfect. Draw them, paint them up, all good. But this one was very much not the case. Which does make sense, because like Gun Viking and Death Fist are my characters, so I invent them and they can look like whatever, it doesn't matter. But when it's someone else's character, and I'm not that sure of them, of their shape and what they do, and then I don't know if the person commissioning me wants like something wholly original, or if they want something clearly like lifted from the comic, or I don't know. But I did this. I like his arms being up. He's got it's like a human falcon guy, and he's got a big robot arm, which is cool. It fits with the one big arm thing that I like to fucking do. And then he's got the friend who plays guitar in the background, who gives him power, I think, to fight shit. And so there's like tentacles coming up. And then there'll be a video of this, of the full painting at some point. And I did the drawing, and I started with just a big brush of pink across the whole thing as like a motion line through the thing, which for the most part I think that would just about all be covered up, but it was like I like knowing it's there, and there was little dabs of pink sort of coming through. I quite like it. I did the pink, and then I did some dark red and stuff, just some like rough underpainting, and I really liked how it looked just like that, the drawing and the underpainting and the pink. And I wanted to leave it like that, but then if I said, "Oh, here's your commission," and it's just that, it would just be like, "What the fuck is this? I paid you money for this painting, and it's shite, Ewan, you Enus." This is not an art book. What the fuck are you doing, Ewan? This is supposed to be the art book section of the podcast. But this clearly is not an art book. This is just the painting you were just painting when you were painting the painting. You fuck! Piece of fuck! Fuck you! Sorry, I've become agitated. I don't think we're having an art book section. Does my voice sound weird? My voice feels weird. It feels weird in my head. I'm not feeling an art book this week. I don't have any new shit to look at, and I want to paint this. I probably won't get it finished. Largely because I had to squeeze the entire living fuck out of my last tubes of red to get this little bit of paint here, which may well not be enough. For what I require, so I might just have to go as far as I can with the red I've got, and then buy some more red, and then finish it another time, I guess. Well, if I will go using fucking dark red unnecessarily for the underpainting, like everyone says, why do you paint the underpainting? Why, if you're just going to paint over it, isn't that like a waste of paint? And why are you doing that? I get asked the same questions so often. One question I get asked so often, which really sort of baffles me a little bit, is people ask how I keep my paint wet, and like I think literally maybe one time in my life of painting, I struggled to keep the paint wet. You know, like all of my girlfriends I've ever had. Just kidding. I'm a sexual dynamo. I have no problems with any of that. I'm very good with my hands, as I'm sure you can imagine. Does my voice sound weird? I feel like it sounds weird. What the fuck is going on? Maybe I'm losing it. And by it, let's just say I mean my penis. I hate that breathe in thing. Where you say a thing, like for instance, let's just say I mean my penis. And then you sort of breathe in and then go, and then on to the next thing. And I hate that breathe in. It's so fucking whack. Anyway! Oh, what a big penis. My grandma, what a big penis you've got. All the better to fuck your mouth with, you dirty whore. Don't know where any of this is coming from. I apologise. The one time I struggled to keep my paint wet was because it was during a heat wave, and I've never tried to paint during a heat wave before that, and the paint was drying up like quicker than I could use it, and I was like, oh shit, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, just use more paint and use water a lot. I spoke to someone fairly recently, and they almost got quite the reaction out of me when they were telling me when they use acrylics they just don't water them down at all. And I was like, I mean, that's fine, because I do that often. Like, I'll just use acrylic straight out of the tube and not water it down, depending on, you know, what I'm painting, how I'm painting it, you know, based on factors. Yeah. But they were telling me, oh no, they said, I said, and then they said, and then we said. Oh, it was hilarious. It should have been there. Oh, good times. Good times. They said something about painting, and I think they said something like keeping the paint, you know, wet is difficult. And I was like, just fucking put water. It's acrylic. It's not like oils where you need fucking turpentine. It's not watercolour where, like, you have to have the precise amount for it to do what it's supposed to do. It's acrylic. Just put water in it. Fucking spit in it. Piss in it. It doesn't fucking matter. And they were like, oh, that's actually a good idea. I should water my paint. I don't mean to do like a mock condescending voice. They weren't like that. They're a very, very lovely person. But they were like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense to put water in the paint. I don't know why I didn't think of that. And I was like, are you seriously telling me you've never put water in your paint? And so that's how I feel whenever someone asks about, like, how do you keep your paints wet? It's like, fucking put water in it and then it's wet. What? You go like this, and you go like this, and look, it's wet now. And then you go, why? How is that a difficult? I don't. What are you people doing? That's not. What the fuck are you doing? And then the other question is to do with the paper I use. What paper do I use? Because every time I paint, the paper always gets wrinkled and warps. Just use thick paper. I don't know. There's all these questions. What type of pen is that? What type of paper? What type of paint? It's like, well, if your paper is warping when you paint on it, use thicker paper. It's like, obviously, sure, give advice to other people to help them if they need it. Absolutely, completely, I'm fully on board with that. But there's a certain amount of personal responsibility that has to go into it. You know, I don't want to be like, well, I did it this way, which means everyone else has to do it the way... Because that's a shit way of thinking. That's a lot of problems in the world come from thinking that way. But I learned to do everything I know how to do, which is arguably a bunch of shit, by figuring it out, by looking at what people were doing and going, oh, that's probably something like this, and then figuring it out. And, like, that's not to say people shouldn't give help if people ask for it, yeah, I try to, but there does come a point where like you just have to use some common sense. I almost said common fucking sense, which is sort of unnecessary, but I fucking could have said it anyway. It just common sense to like, if your paper warps when you paint on it, use thicker paper and then it won't. And then if your paint dries up, make it wet with water and then it won't dry up anymore. It's just these simple things that I guess they seem obvious to me because I already know the thing, and maybe if you haven't thought about the thing, you don't know, you won't get it. But like, come on, man, come on. I'm trying to get these. I almost called them testicles. They're not testicles. They're tentacles, Ewan. You silly goose. If my red runs out, I'm fucked, and I'm just gonna have to quit while I'm not ahead. If my red runs out, and you know, so be it. I guess that's up to the laws of fucking whatever. I hope it doesn't, but there is a chance that my red will fully just run out. Wouldn't that be funny? Episode's cut short this week because I ran out of red paint. The end. I have no idea what I'm doing with these tentacles. I'm trying to paint them. I'm trying to like blend them from purple to pink, and then light at the bottom and then dark at the top, but I really don't know how well that's working. Maybe I'm rushing it as well. That often happens if I'm in podcast mode. I tend to rush things, whatever I'm working on. If it's cross-hatching or painting or whatever, I feel like I do rush when I'm podcasting, rather than just painting or whatever, taking my time. I had so many. I was going to talk about things. I was going to talk about dreams. I have such things to say about dreams. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, but there are some ladies in there, and you know, any other non-binary, trans, whatever. You're all welcome. You're all welcome. This is a safe space, unless you don't like hearing the word cunt and bitch and shit, piss ass, fart fucks. Fuck a dog in the mouth! If that sort of stuff. I don't claim that would be offensive, but it might just be the sort of thing that, like, it would be offensive in the way that it's so unintelligent that you just go, ugh, who the fuck? Because I watch videos like that as well, where I see the people in the video trying to be funny, but it's so, like, bad that it's almost offensive. And then I'm like, what? Just fuck off. Fucking fuck off and shut up. Just fucking shut up. And to be fair, that's how I feel about myself a lot of the time as well. Just fucking shut up. Just shut your fucking mouth, you fucking Christ. I have a terrible feeling that I haven't pressed record. Oh no, I have. Okay, cool. Oh, imagine that. Oh, imagine if all of this amazing content was accidentally not being recorded. Oh, the world would lose out then, wouldn't they, eh? Imagine that. God, what would we be left with then? Oh. So many of my dreams, so many of my dreams have to do with peeing. An inordinate amount, an incomprehensible, immeasurable amount of my dreams have to do with peeing and the need to pee. That's almost always what it is. It's like a recurring dream, but every single time it's in a different place, different people, different situation. The toilet situation is different every time. but it's always, almost always, I desperately need to pee, and there's either no toilet, a toilet that's inaccessible, a broken toilet, like a toilet that won't work, or a toilet that should be there but isn't. The amount of times I've had dreams where I've gone to the toilet and there's just like a hole in the ground, and not in like an Asian, like they have the porcelain thing when it's you squat on the floor with a foot either side and you go in the hole in the ground. It's not. It's just like there should be a toilet here, but instead there's just a hole in the floor, and it's just like, do I pee in the hole in the floor? Do I go in the sink or And it's so like aggressively stressful. These dreams are so stressful. Like I wake up sweating from how stressful these dreams are, because this is a genuine fear that follows me in my daily life, or not daily necessarily, but in my life in general, is the fear of desperately needing to use the bathroom, to do the pee-pee or the poo-poo, and having no access to the necessary facilities. That's why I don't like travelling long distances, because like if I'm on a train, sure, trains have toilets, but they're horrific. I hate using train toilets. They're just, I don't feel safe in them. And then I have to like, do I take my bag with me? Because I don't like the idea of leaving my bag like on my seat and then just going to the toilet, because then someone else could come along and take my seat or take my bag. So then it's like, do I take my bag with me? But if it's quite a big bag, it's quite cumbersome, and I'm going to like take it with me to piss and then take my bag back on a train. It's just, it's so... And because when I was a kid, I had some kind of bladder infection that like made me need to pee every fucking 10 minutes, to the point where there was a family trip scheduled to London to go to Planet Hollywood for my sister's birthday, but I didn't go. I refused to go, and then one of my brothers had to stay behind. Oh no, it's my brother's birthday, but Zoe, my sister, sadly now deceased, she had to stay behind to look after me because I refused to go, because I was just throwing tantrums and stuff, because my mum made the mistake of telling me we would be going on the underground trains, and even at this young age of like 5 or 6, my first thought was, do these trains have toilets, because I'm going to need the toilet. And my mum said, no, but we won't be on them long, only a couple of minutes. But I was just like in fits of hysteria, screaming and crying, and I refused to go. And my mum, she could have just said, shut up, we're going. And I would have ended up being okay probably. But it was the fear and the stress and anxiety of it all that got to me. So I ended up staying home, and my sister had to stay home to look after me. And I felt bad for that, but fucking whatevs, give a shit. But yeah, for my entire life it's been an issue, because it was a genuine like medical issue for a while at least, where I'd be on a bus and I'd be like, I have to pee now, and my mum would be like, like I'd be on a bus with my mum and she'd be like, okay, we have to get off at the next stop, find a toilet, then get on another bus to continue wherever the fuck we were going, to town or whatever. It was a genuine issue, and that's, I don't know if it is necessarily because of that thing from when I was a kid, but regardless, it is a very, very regular occurrence in dreams where I desperately need to pee and I can't do it, because there's like I say, there's lack of facilities or inadequate facilities. It's so fucking weird. And that's one thing I was going to mention. I'm aware that apparently they say like, oh, if you find you're in a position like that where you desperately need to pee in a dream, don't pee in the dream if you can help it, because you'll pee in real life. As of yet, to this day, never happened. Never have I peed in real life whilst or during or after peeing in a dream. That's never happened. Touch wood. my penis. I never have peed IRL from peeing in a dream, which is great. You know, that's nothing but beneficial. Well, not beneficial, just good, I guess. That I haven't peed in my pants in my bed during a wet, not a wet dream, but like a wet with pee dream. There's time, you know. As I get older, I'm sure my faculties will sort of weaken and stuff. And so I say, yeah, I've woken up sweating. I've never woken up covered in pee yet. But there's been times where I've been desperately trying to pee in these dreams, but never been able to. And there's so many times where I'm about to pee and then somebody bursts into the bathroom, removes me for some reason, or it just becomes impossible to pee and I have to hold it in some more. And I can just feel this pressure building up and this desperate need to pee, and I just can't pee. It's impossible. It won't let me go. They just won't let me pee. Why won't they let me pee? And yeah, the amount of times it's been like a broken toilet. There's been like multiple dreams where I go to pee and the toilet is just falling apart, or it's full of water, and then I go to pee in it and it collapses and there's water everywhere, and it's like, oh no, what do I do? Or the hole in the ground thing, and it's like I start peeing into the hole in the ground and I'm so worried about the repercussions of this. I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do in this situation. It's baffling to me. I don't know what it is or where. I'm sure it's to do with general stress and anxiety, not specifically about needing to use the toilet, but it is probably to do with a wider stress and anxiety that I'm feeling in general in my life, and it comes out in my dreams in the form of desperately needing to piss and not being able to. It's kind of funny in a way, but also horrendous and horrific, and I don't like it. I don't want to do it anymore. I thought I had more to say on it, but evidently I don't. That's about it. I have these dreams where I need to pee. I can't pee. For the love of God, let me pee. And they never let me pee. Now the background of this piece, these clouds from about here, these clouds are going to be orange, like orangey yellow going into sort of white here. So like glow from underneath going upwards. And then the clouds above those here, which are the background clouds, are going to be purples. And then I'll paint into the black with a darker purple, but then a lighter purple in the clouds. And then he's going to... This van is blue, and he'll be wearing blue jeans, and he's going to have some kind of like blue electricity around his guitar and his pick that he's holding up. So that will go into the purples in the background. And then, yeah, orange, bright orange / yellow glow from underneath. That does raise the issue, you may have noticed, of causing an underglow. That's partly why I'm trying to have the tentacles lighter and pinker at the bottom. But the issue there is in there should be an underglow on Murder Falcon himself. But as you might be able to see, the lighting is coming from above. I did want to mention as well, I'm really happy with like the chunkiness and the lighting on the arms. I think that's really, really cool. The legs, not the best, but fucking it'll do. And yeah, so there's a bit of a disconnect there. There'll be an underglow here, but that lighting won't be impacting the character. And that's just one thing I get to do because I'm an artist and I can do what I want. But it's also because I was in my head trying to figure out how to light Murder Falcon from below. And I mean, it's an awkward thing because it's an awkward pose. There's lots of different parts to light from beneath. And I haven't painted the character before, so I'm not that sure of his forms and stuff. So I elected to say fuck it and have an underglow on the tentacles, kind of, or they're just going to be lighter at the bottom and darker at the top, and then a regular lighting from above, or sort of here, on Murder Falcon. And then this guy here and his van will have their own lighting from somewhere else entirely. I just fucking whatever. It's a painting. It doesn't need to make sense. I do what I want. Shut up. Fucking shut up. I do what I want. Tell me what to do. Piece of shit. I'll fucking... You ass bitch. I don't know how thrilled I am with how the tentacles are looking at the moment. I think I wanted them to look like juicier than I'm sort of making them look at the moment. And that might come in with like highlights and stuff. If I get in some kind of outline, at least in parts here and there, and then the white and sort of hot highlights over and across them, I think that'll be where the juiciness comes in. Maybe if I make them like super light, and I can paint even lighter pinks and stuff on top of them, later on. But then I might try to make this pink blend into the white yellowiness that will be behind them. There's all these decisions you've got to make when you're painting. It's not well, sometimes it's a case of just colouring in, but it's not always just a case of just colouring in fucking whatever. You've actually got to decide things and work things out, which is a pain in the arse. I'd rather not have to do that. I'd rather just fucking stick a bunch of shit on the page and go, yeah, that'd do. But no, it's got to actually look good and make sense. An arsehole painting. Do what I tell you to do. Stop having a mind of your own. Cunt. Stop having free will, you bastard. Ugh. I don't know how good my blending is either. Well, blending has never been my strong suit. Every now and again, I'll get a blend that I'm happy with, and I'll be like, I blended the shit out of that. Fuck yeah! But largely, my blending does leave something to be desired, and that's like there are ways to blend acrylics. This is a technique I've meant to try out a bunch, but never really got around to, where you keep separately a dry brush like this one, and then when you put in like a wet layer of lighter paint into an area, and then you use your dry brush to like do this to kind of blend it in. I've seen that technique used by a few artists, and it seems to be really effective. Some of these artists use that really, really well. But it's one of those things that's like, it's a whole extra step on every blending of colour. That's just, for me, it's like, ugh, fuck that. Just, and then, because you have to make sure that brush is clean and dry every time you're going to use it for that. Otherwise, it's going to be smearing colours all over the place. So, yeah, I don't really blend my colours as much as I just layer them. I feel like I'm losing my voice. I apologise if my voice is sounding weird, because it feels like my voice is sounding really, really weird. Oh no, I don't apologise. Fuck you. It's my voice. I'll fucking... It'll do what it wants to do, and you don't get to fucking have a say in it. Pieces of garbage. Fuck you, mother. Which is to say, yeah, you can blend with acrylics, but it does take a little more effort. Because like oils will blend into each other regardless. Well, not regardless, but you can like go like this with oils and they will mix. Acrylics, you know, you have to keep them super, super wet if you want to use them like that. And you can use them like that, but it's, again, it's just effort. It's just fucking effort. It's the kind of effort that I don't want to put in, because I'm a lazy bastard and I don't care about that shit. This is supposed to be one sort of lump here, and this lump going straight down here. But like I say, sometimes I blend okay. I don't think this is necessarily one of those times. But I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can make my not blending work. Well, that's what I tell myself anyway. But then I tell myself a lot of things. So I don't know if I'm the person to listen to on these sorts of matters. Should we get, just quickly, I think, just before I finish up, I mean, I'm not going to finish up this. This will take, I think, at least another... Not another day, maybe only another sort of several hours. I'll just get those two pieces. The van will be nice and easy, blue and a little bit of orange. The guy won't take too long. There's a few different colours, but only small amounts, so that won't take too long. The backgrounds, I'll try to be careful with them, but they won't take too long. Some outlines, some details and highlights and stuff. So yeah, not too long to finish the whole entire thing. But just before I finish up, oh god, all my paints are running out. I need to go out and buy a shitload of paints. I can barely afford that. Jesus. I'm gonna have to do a GoFundMe just for paint. I can't even get any yellow ochre. Fuck! God damn it. I think I'm out of yellow ochre. I'm going to have to cut the tube open just to fucking... Okay, I've got some. It's alright. It's all good. It's alright. Don't worry. But I do need more. I just want to... real quick... block in... these... cloud bubble explosion areas, like I did with the black. It sometimes I will not do it until I'm really focusing on the background or whatever, and you know, then I'm less likely to waste paint also. But sometimes, like with the black, I like to have it all sort of blocked in just so I get a better idea of what the hell it is I'm doing, and I can map out in my head then the next steps to take. Because sometimes with paintings, I will like literally paint the entire thing in my head. I'll plan almost every brush stroke, every colour mix, everything I need to do, I'll plan it all in my head, so that when it comes to actually painting the thing, it's such like a relatively quick and easy process. But then sometimes, as I'm working my way through the painting, I need to sort of give myself a little hand here and there, a little hand job here and there, just a little bit of help along the way, a little bit of guidance, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just so I know I'm like, even if it is just to confirm that I'm doing the right thing, I'm on the right path, and I just need to continue on said path until the thing's finished. Or it might even be that blocking in stuff like this sort of almost highlights something that I need to correct or need to work on or whatever. So it can be good for me personally. I don't know about you lot, if you're painting and shit, if you have the same issues, but it's one of the things I like to do sometimes. Just to block shit out, just to fucking, I don't know. Also, it fills up time on the podcast, doesn't it? Oh, it's all content. That's the content is king. And fuck it, you guys something to show. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? I don't know what that was. I feel shit. I was gonna say this. I had it in my head to be like, this is going to be a really miserable, depressing podcast. But I tried to make it funny by talking about, a girl whose name sounds like penis and also dreams about peeing. But I've really not been doing good. I've been feeling horrifically miserable lately. I don't even know why I started talking about this just now. No real reason is what it is. Yeah, I feel like shit. Like, it's just fucking miserable, not having a good time with things at the moment. And it's, my sister passing away and a whole mess of other things on top of that. Just straight up not having a good time, bros. And I had it in my head to be like, well, I'll just spend the podcast talking about that, and it might be a bit of a sad episode. I don't know who'd want to watch and or listen to it, but that's what's in me, so that's what's going to come out, and which is valid. There's no reason I shouldn't do that. It's my fucking podcast. I'll make it miserable if I want, but I have tried to not. I try to be fun and entertaining. Christ, there's more fucking yellow than I thought there'd be. I was worried I'd be like wasting paint. I'd have loads of yellow ochre left over, but I really might not. I'm smearing it all over the tentacles I've just painted. What am I doing? Fucking ruining it. Ruining all my hard work. Just like I ruin your mum's vagina. Oh, killing it. Just like I kill your mother's vagina. With swords! Because your mother's vagina is a wretched, vile beast that must be slain at all costs. Hello, this is Ewan from a little bit later on. I slept. I finished the thing, and then I got it all to go, and then I slept, which is, probably beneficial, I suppose, for the best, for the breast. Killing it, just killing it, just like I realised I was talking about being miserable and shit, and I had a reason in my head for why I'd bring that up. On the one hand, just to let you know, I'm fucking miserable, like so disastrously not happy, not well. But I did want to say, within that, or around that, or adjacent to that, a very good friend sent me a booby picture of themselves and their boobies, and it lifted my spirits massively. Like I was, if for today specifically, I was feeling so bad, and then I saw some surprise boobs, and even after all these years of being sent boob pictures, tit pics, all that, etc. Still, a surprise pair of boobs from somebody you like can just lift you up. So that's a good thing. But also, I've had a lot of messages recently, just being nice from people who were somewhere with a bunch of artists, and apparently I got brought up quite a lot. People were mentioning me and talking about me in a positive way, and then another place with another completely separate bunch of different kinds of artists were doing the same thing, talking about me in positive ways, which is really as to be expected, isn't it? Fuck's sake, you better be talking about me all the god fuck time. Come on. No, but also it's genuinely it does make me feel good. It's unexpected, and I don't feel it necessary, but I mean the fact that people are out there mentioning Ewan and how brilliant he is at art and all the rest of it, that's really nice. And also a bunch of messages from people and comments and stuff on my videos just talking about how they enjoy watching the podcast. They watch the podcast every week. They really enjoy it. Some people saying they watch the podcast and then they watch the old ones and then they rewatch the episodes, and it's just like they have my podcast on almost like a loop when they're drawing and painting and stuff, and that's pretty amazing. One guy today showed me he was projecting it onto his wall. I know people watch on their phones and laptops, I guess, sure, whatever. And then when I see that people watch on their big screens, I'm like, oh, Jesus. I mean, if you're just watching YouTube on your big screen and then my video happens to be amongst that, then sure, fine, whatever. But it feels a bit it feels nice. People are there watching my shit as their primary entertainment or whatever. It's bizarre, but very, very nice feeling in my tummy. And then one guy, he was showing me how he projected it onto his wall. So it's just my podcast taking up a whole huge wall with me swearing and such. And yeah, that's really it's really nice to see. It makes me feel good, and I don't feel good much nowadays, or ever, I guess. It comes and goes, it ebbs and flows, swings and roundabouts. Bitches and hoes. But yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. I'm not feeling great, but there's a bunch of you out there that are being nice. Maybe you're being nice because I'm feeling down because I like my sister and all. But even so, it's still nice to have people be nice to you, isn't it? Especially when I spend 99.9% of my time alone in my cell doing what I do. I very rarely go out and talk to people, so I'm not around people for them to be nice to me in person, as they always would be, as they should be. So yeah, I thank you, I guess. And look, ooh, yeah, painting, ooh, bloody paint, yeah, ooh, how'd it do?